Hello again, YouTube. Truth Man here. So I'm gonna make a video where I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk about Milwaukee. But on this video, I want to talk about the number one biggest mistake that urbanized blacks make. And I think that this is the mistake that hinders the majority of us, almost all of us. And that's acting like you something because you've been to prison or you committed crimes. They do this in a couple ways. One way, some blacks act like you just square because you haven't been to prison, and that you supposed to be scared of every street dude that been to prison. Like I say, a lot of these dudes, I've worked in jails. They crybaby, and they ain't nothing without they boys, without people backing them up, and a pistol. The majority of them, like a large portion. The ones that really do damage for no reason and crash out is probably the minority, probably 49% or less. Because while we doing this, we don't own nothing. Like I'm riding up the street. It's probably not even 25% of these businesses on this street are owned by blacks. It's some of all the races all around the world that own this stuff. I would say 25%, and this is nothing but businesses where I am, owned by blacks. Black dudes want to walk around with hoods on their head, acting like they hard, doing stuff to each other, making it even harder for us as a group. You see what I'm talking about? New China. See that? I would show you, but like it's kind of congested over here. That's what I'm talking about. Gas station owned by foreigners. Almost everything over here owned by a couple things owned by whites, but even white people. Like most of this stuff over here is owned by foreigners, by people from India, by people from the Middle East, by people from different parts of Africa where they not dark skinned, like Algeria, and we think it's cool to follow people who ain't doing nothing with their lives. Oh, he a studio gangster. Sure, being a studio gangster is smart. Like, we used to look at that like, oh man, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have did none of the stuff I was doing. I would have focused on my college and play sports. Because like a lot of that stuff, like I never recovered from it. Like that time I was wasting back then, I never 100% recovered from it. And a lot of y'all not recovering from y'all's either. They own everything. They literally purposely move where we at because they know we ain't gonna open no business. He's finna go. They're practically getting me caught in traffic, trying to run red lights. That kind of stuff. Followers. Always doing the dumb thing. Doing the thing that a lot of people who are doing well in their lives don't do. And thinking it's cool. Oh, you're a lame because you don't go to jail, you don't get in trouble. You don't skip school, you're a lame? No, you're lame for doing it. You're lame. Y'all know how, like in the Bible, the lames were the people who would just sit around like riddled with sickness, couldn't do nothing, couldn't help themselves. Needed other people to help them. They done flipped all the words. Like they call our neighborhood ghettos. They got us calling each other lame. So let me get this straight. The person who wears the racist clothing designer's clothes that's overpriced on purpose is cool. The person who's out here, you ain't selling drugs to all these white. You might have a couple white customers, but you're not selling drugs to all these white people unless you live out there with them. And if you live out there with them, it ain't gonna be long before you ain't living out nowhere. But they'll call you a lame, oh, you don't get no PUSSY. First of all, even that, these women are a waste of time. It's recreational use only. It's for your amusement. It ain't supposed to be to stroke your ego. A lot of these guys don't even own a house or a business, but they are talking about who's a lame and who don't get no PUSSY and all of this stuff that don't even matter. Don't even matter. You with them Indians, you can't tell who they with. A lot of time you don't even see their girlfriends or their wives. And you ain't gonna know because they don't tell you. They don't broadcast. They use you to get rich. Well, you are a person who can't set their own trends. You following everybody. Now the women think it's cool for them to be out here just having sex like crazy, but then they gonna want to get married one day to your sons. And your son ain't gonna even be able to enjoy his life no more. Gonna be looking all sad. So see, look at the stuff these people do. You going 60 to get in front of me and you can't even go nowhere. I'm telling you, they think this stuff is cool. You go out to the suburbs, you might see a couple young white guys in they big trucks driving like that. But most of them, they ain't gonna be driving like that. It'll be a few people. Just baselining people and stuff. Acting like they driving a remote control car. Look at that. And then, like, these women be confused because half of them act like they don't even like black people because they grew up with white people and this, that, and the other. But then they'll have tendencies. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you secretly like pookies. If a dude try to live a good life, he a wimp, he a lame, he's scary. Cause a dude stay away from people who ain't got nothing to live for, he's scary. I'll tell you flat out, I ain't scared of none of these niggas. Not a single one. What I mean, if they get me, they got me. But what's fear gonna do? I just stay away from them because I don't have time to be in no hospital if they get me, or to be in no jail if I get them. Like, look at them, just sitting around doing nothing, watching people, casing. Talking about, do you know where you is? Talking about their neighborhood and stuff. But they let them Indians come in and own everything. Nigerians, Indians, Chinese. Backwards. Still acting like a slave. Acting like you still on the plantation. And some of y'all wear y'all hair like that. I'm not saying my hair is, I'm gonna win a beauty pageant or a contest. But black people just embrace, can't do nothing on their own. Like, they making that stuff look true. And we're gonna talk about Milwaukee. I'm gonna break down why I'm saying what I'm saying. And then the ones that try to talk progressive argue with them enough. They get that talking just like a ninja too. I'll send my peeps on you. I'll do this. I'll do that. You double talking. One minute you talking about white supremacy and how we can avoid it. The next minute you trying to send your shooter cousin to somebody's house. I mean, which one is it, man? Definitely can't be led by you. So man, that's the number one thing. Like I'm not the type to try to isolate myself. But a lot of people I'm really not gonna be dealing with real tough. Like, I'll be nice to them, I'll talk to them and stuff like that. But I don't have no time for anyone just trying to minimize me in any way. And that's what we good at. We think that the one, like I say, the one that went to prison, the one wear all the designer clothes, is somehow better than the 9-to-5 dude who don't have all the clothes, don't have all the shoes, just want to play his game. You ain't better than him. You thinking exactly how all of your oppressors want you to think. Because as long as you think like that, they'll continue to get rich. They'll continue to, I'm on a totally different street, right? All these businesses over here, I don't think a single one, maybe that liquor store is owned by blacks. The liquor store is, if they ain't sold it. But most of this stuff is owned by Indians, Middle Easterners, so on and so forth. They even coming from Europe to Milwaukee, half fixing these cars, and got all them black people patronizing. We gotta stop that, man. Gotta stop it, man. And then, because they think that it's righteous to be a thug, so they'll start threatening people that ain't got nothing to do with what they got going, and that'll cause other people to be involved. Like I say, I done worked around predominantly black a couple times. It ain't no better, and sometimes it was worse. I'm just gonna tell you. Sometimes it was worse. For this reason. Black people, you can't wear, you come to a dirty, dusty jail or factory or something, and people try to look down on you for wearing old shoes, for wearing shoes that's not popular or cheap shoes. That's why I noticed that white people, foreigners, they don't have that same pressure on them. Thinking every time you come out of the house, you gotta be dressed all the way up like you finna go somewhere on an outing or something. They don't do that to each other. We do though. Like, I noticed that, like, when I let my hair down like this, some people be giving me funny looks. Other people be having a bald spot in their head. Like I say, these dudes, I'm gonna get more into this later. These dudes be more worried about my hair than females. But we gotta stop this, man. We gotta stop. This is keeping them on top by us thinking like this. Instead of these youngsters, 2021, getting them a job or going to college, or even though I'm not against the military, but I'm not the most their number one advocate. You need a military. They don't do those things. Instead, they want to scam and can I use your phone? Try to give themselves some money off your Cash App and all that other stuff that when they get caught, they're going to go to jail. Like, it's almost like it's something in their blood, it seems like sometimes, that just want to gravitate back to slavery. Now, the white man had the slaves divided. That's number one thing. Y'all call good evil and evil good. And look who y'all listen to as far as music. I'm not being no hypocrite. I listen to some trash too. But it's like y'all being influenced by it though. I'm not. It's like, 14 fathers everywhere are battling their daughters because their daughter want to dye her hair pink and act like Ice Spice or Sexy Red. And then she get pregnant and you supposed to revolve your schedule around her being a 14-year-old kid getting pregnant. No, sir. No, sir. I told my daughter, I said, I gotta work. If you ever like you get too fast and I'm not finna change what I do. So, but yeah, we gotta think for ourselves. We gotta think competitively. We gotta change that. We can't keep thinking that that's cool. We got to think that it's evil, it's dumb, it's a waste of time. Going to jail is a waste of time. So think of anything you doing right now that could get you put in jail and just stop it. That's your first step. Stop it. Think of anybody that's going to call you a lame for not wanting to do the things that's going to have you in jail. Get away from them. You got a little money? Man, move out of town. Don't even live around people that act like that no more. Because you giving them what they want. Who gives their enemies what they want? You don't supposed to give your enemies what they want. You're supposed to give them what they don't want. Not what they want. They want you to come up short, need food stamps, not be able to pay this, not be able to buy. You should have 5 or 6 cars. I should have 5 or 6 cars. I should have a big house. But you know why we don't? Because we didn't do what we were supposed to do to get it. Now, it's also wrong for you to be a Sambo and an Oreo cookie to get it. That's wrong too. We're going to talk about that on another day. You shouldn't have to do that either. Because you losing just like the person who think that they cool because they being like some rappers that's paid off by their oppressors. And then they move out of the hood and they put their kids in private school. Because they know that's what they should have did anyway. Then they come back and you still rapping about that stuff? If I'm going to listen to them rap about that, I'm going to listen to their old stuff. They shouldn't still be rapping about that. You rapping about selling drugs 40 years later? It's 40 years later. Why do you need to sell drugs? 20 years later, 30 years later? You being a bad example, man. Because you doing the number one thing that's hurting us from an urban standpoint. We supposed to be doing what it takes to pass these people up and make them buy from us. But instead, y'all see a black dude, he, look at his hair. He. You see a Indian, brother, You see a white person, bro. You see a black person. You a grown man. You say you ain't Fruity Pebble, but you looking in another grown man's face like he a chick you like or something. You spending your time doing that. You can't even walk around comfortably in public because you done did stuff that's gonna get you locked up. Is that why you here? Is that why you alive? To commit crimes and act like you stupid?